All right, so we are back and we are doing 5.10, ready, set, go, number 14 and 16. And I'm going to go, 14 is going to be using substitution. And then 16, I'm going to use elimination. Okay, so 14, the way we solve 14 is, and I'm going to just copy this over here. So 4x minus 5, I don't even know how to copy, guys. What's happening? Okay, let's try again. 4y minus 5x equals to 9. And then I'm going to write x minus 4y equals to 11. So the very first step in substitution is to solve. So you're going to solve any variable, whichever one you want. I am very strategic about this. I'm not going to go up to this one and solve for y, because then I'm going to get fractions all over the place. And I don't want to deal with fractions, because if I mess up, then it's all because of the fractions. I'm just making sure that I copied it correctly. Okay. So I strategically, which one would you solve for? This y, this x, or this y? Which one? Yeah, I would solve for this x in this equation, not this equation. Fractions everywhere. This one, I could just, okay. So think about how you would get x by itself. How would you get x by itself? And so you're right. Very good. Again, how do you get x by itself is the first question. Very good. Add 4y to both sides. Very good. Add 4y, add 4y. So I get x is equal to, and I get 4y plus 11. Do not add these two together. They're not like terms. Okay. Number one, done. I solved it. Number two is going to be substitute. So you're going to take all this really good information, that's my avocado, and I'm going to put it in every time I see bacon. 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 Right? So instead of putting bacon here, they're going to put avocado on my sandwich. So I'm going to copy all this down. I'm going to leave a big space holder for my x, my avocado. Okay. So I go 4y minus 5, big space holder, equals to 9. Okay. And then I'm going to take this stuff and I'm going to plug it in to here. So that's 4y plus 11. And bam, as easy as that, I just transported you back to 8th grade. I think these problems lived in 8th grade. So these problems lived in 8th grade. So I'm done substituting. Boom. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to solve. What are you going to solve for, Ms. Johnson? Well, the only variable that's there. Okay. So yes, I'm going to have to simplify on the way to that, but it's still called solving. I got 4y minus 20y. I'm distributing. Minus 55 equals to 9. I'm still solving because I don't have y by itself. So here I get negative 16y minus 55 equals to 9. Still now I will solve. So I'm going to add 55. Add 55. What is that? 64 equals to negative 16y. If my memory serves me correctly, I believe this is negative 4. Because negative 4 times negative 16 is 64. So there, I solved it. Okay, follow the pattern. Solve, substitute, solve. What goes next? You're right, substitute. All right, so I'm going to substitute back into this equation. So I get, oops, I can't see what I get. I'm going to choose x equals 4 spot holder plus 11. And I'm going to put that guy right there. And I forgot to write substitution. So I put -4. So I get -16 plus 11, which I believe is -5, which is what one of your classmates originally said. So I'm going to write -4, -5. Oops, I forgot to say the last step right here. This is solve. So Miss Johnson, when you're using substitution, you solve, you substitute, you solve, you substitute, you solve. Yeah, you do some simplifying in between there, but yes, in general, that's all you're doing, right? Then I would check my answers by using either algebra or graphing calculator. But I already checked this answer because one of you said, "Hey, Miss Johnson, is this the right answer?" And I just checked it. Did I do it wrong? I did. Oh my gosh, be nitpicky. Thank you for correcting me. Miss Johnson, this is wrong. This is wrong. Don't. -5, -4. Be nitpicky because that was wrong. Because I basically said X was -4 and Y was -5. Woohoo. I love it when you guys find my mistakes. See? Me. Happy. Doesn't that look exactly like me, you guys? Exactly. Okay, sorry. Not funny right now, Miss Johnson. Okay, what part here is the most difficult part? What part is gonna, you know, what part's gonna mess you up? Is it the solving part? Is it the substituting part? Is it the solving part? Is it the substituting part? Is it the solving part? Which part here is gonna mess you up? Okay, when you get there, walk very carefully. Walk very carefully. Yeah, the solving part, I agree. But remember, when you're doing this, how you're just saying, how can I get y by itself? How can I get y by itself? How can I get y by itself? Okay. By the way, for those of you who are wondering, if you did this part, like if you solved right here and you did this part, this was the 9th grade part from right here and above. All this part right here, this is what we taught you. Everything below that, this is what you came in here knowing. You knew how to solve an equation. You knew how to substitute. You knew how to do those things. This right here is the 9th grade part. Does that make sense? Okay, let's do substitution and then we are going to call it a day. Miss Johnson, you don't have enough space because you write so big. I know. That's all right. All right, here's number 16. It says -2x plus 5y equals to -1. And we get 3x plus 2y equals to 11. So for this one, I'm going to use elimination. And the reason why I'm going to use elimination is because, oh man, I should have scooted it over more. Sorry, I'm going to fix this. The reason why I want to use elimination is because substitution looks horrible on this. The moment that I start solving for one of these, it's going to be fractions everywhere, and that's not going to be my favorite. So let me just scoot this guy over because then I can, oh, sorry. All right, there. That's what I want. All right. Okay. So the first thing that you do is you want to eliminate. So you're going to multiply equations to eliminate. So right now, I can't eliminate. I can't, right? These two don't eliminate. These two don't eliminate. If you don't remember what I'm talking about in number 11, do you see how the x's automatically eliminate? X minus x. I don't got that here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply one equation or both equations to get rid of it. Okay. So in this case, can you think of a number that -2 and 3 both go into? Can you think of a number that -2 and 3 both go into? Perfect. Someone said 6. So I'm going to make the top a -6x and the bottom a 6x. Because then I could just multiply this guy by whatever you tell me to multiply him by. And this guy by whatever you tell him to multiply by. And then I'll do it to every single piece in that equation. So who's missing, right? -2 times what gives me -6? And -2 times what gives me -6? Yeah. So I'm going to multiply this by 3. So that means I'm going to multiply this guy by 3. this guy by 3, this guy by 3. Then I'm going to write the result right here. Right next to that negative 6x, I'm going to write it all there. So take a second, write it all out right there. Try to be more neat than Miss Johnson's being right now. She's like kind of in a hurry. That's why she's writing all messy. All right, then bottom equation. 3x times what gives me 6x? 3x times what gives me 6x? Very good. Times 2. So I'm going to multiply each of these guys by 2, 2, 2. And then you write your result right there. So I'm going to do some math. I got 6x plus 4y equals to 22. I got negative 6x plus 15y equals to negative 3. And then now I'm going to add these equations together. Yay! Why is Miss Johnson happy? Because she did her job. She eliminated, right? Right there, that's the 9th grade part. The rest of this, you already know how to do. You know how to add 15y plus 4y to give you 19y. You know how to do negative 3 plus 22. That's a 7th grade problem. That gives you 19. You know how to solve this equation, right? Okay. So I forgot to say to add or subtract to eliminate, right? Okay. Now the rest of this is going to look like this. Then you're going to solve, then you're going to substitute, then you're going to solve. Okay. So only the very beginning is where elimination and substitution differ. The rest of it is exactly the same. So because that's true, I know that 3 is to solve. So that means y equals to 1. I should make my 1 right there. And then you're going to substitute back in. I am going to choose the second equation because it has less negatives. 3x plus 2 times 1 equals 11. So that's 3x equals to 9. So x equals to 3. So 5 is to solve. And then I would check my answer using Desmos, which I will really quick. Desmos. Plug these in. I get negative 2x. Oh no, hold on. I get negative 2x plus 5y equals negative 1. I'm really interested in making sure my answer is correct because I just spent all that time and I want to make sure I get an A on my test. So this is what the graph tells me. Where do I find my answer? Where do I find my answer? Yes, ma'am.
Where they intersect?
Yes, where they intersect. So I click on this little point right here and it says 3, 1. And I'm like, oh, be still, my little math heart. Look, it's the same. And I'm so excited right now because Miss Johnson, I just got an A on this problem. Does that make sense? All right. Very, very good. I have no more questions. Does anybody have any questions for me? The last thing I will say is, which is the hardest part here? So now that you've seen substitution and elimination, both of these, which is the hardest part? Do you like substitution better than elimination? Then use substitution on every single problem on the test. Ms. Johnson, what about elimination? Yeah, do that too. You won't run into the problem that you can't use elimination until you get to next year. Okay, so find the part that you know you're going to make a mistake on and walk very carefully around that to make sure that you don't do that. And then check your answer and then verify that you're right. Very good. Thank you for listening.